So let us start lecture number 4 in unit number first. So in the continuation of the lecture number 3, just I am going to start about the static view of the system components. So there are a number of components and how we will connect or interface with the hardware and how the operating system is interface uh, with the computer hardware, system application program and other system and application softwares. Now in this diagram you can see here, so there are various components of the system and this is called the static view, and how they are connected we can see in this diagram. So first is, as we have already discussed earlier in one of the diagram. So far in this case again we will discuss the same computer hardware. This is the first stage. So we have the system, and on the inside the system we have a number of hardware components that are connected, and so that they are able to work as a computer, as a machine. So this is called the computer hardware, and hardware you are already aware that these are the things or the devices or various chips, so that we can touch those devices and chips, etc. So this comes under the category of the hardware. Okay, so at the first stage or the first level, we can see here, first is called the computer hardware, and after that we start the computer, start the booting and install the operating system. So the second stage, here you can see it has the direct interface with the computer hardware operating system, and after that operating system is called the platform, or we can say the interfacing device or the system software, whatever you can call, you can use the definition. And above that, above the operating system at stage number 3, you can see here there are various system and application programs. We can say system softwares and other application softwares or the application programs. And application programs, those are dedicated to do a particular task for a organization or the institution or the company. Okay, so on this platform we can install other system softwares as well as the various application programs as per need of the customers or the users of the institution or company. Now you can see here other system softwares: compiler, assembler, text editor, linker, loader, etc., and also the database system. How they have the connectivity with the operating system, you can see in this diagram. The first is given here, compiler, and you are already aware the various functions of the compiler, how it works, also the assembler, also the text editor. So these are the other system softwares besides the linker, loaders, etc. Okay, so compiler, it is a system software that converts high level language into the machine language. Okay, and along with the conversion of your program, that is from the high level language into the low level language, that is the machine language, which is understood by the system. Okay, so it converts that high level language into the machine language, and after that another function of the compiler is the to debug your program. It also recovers various errors. Okay, and these are called the syntax error, semantic error, runtime error, the errors at the execution time. So far it is also controlled by the compiler. Similarly, the another system software you can call as the assembler, and assembler you have already used. It is in the form of the, the program is written in the form of the mnemonics. Okay, so it converts assembly language of a particular machine into the machine language. Please off करें. So assembler, it converts assembly language into the machine language. Okay, so the target is the machine language. Either it is the case of the compiler or case of the assembler. In both case, we convert one language into the another. That is the final phase is the machine language. Okay, in case of the compiler, we use the high level language as the source language at initial stage. In case of the assembler, we use the assembly language, but our target is to convert into the machine language. Okay, Similarly, the text editor, other basic small system softwares, so that we can edit the text, whatever we are going to write or we are writing the program. So we can copy, edit, and we can apply several types of commands. Okay, so it used as a text editor on which we can work easily. Okay, we can correct or we can also remove the errors from the text editor. Also, we can write or change anything. We can apply the several commands on the text editor during the editing of the particular program or the text. Similarly, other call the system software linkers and loaders. Now these text editor or linker and loaders, these are the inbuilt with the system software. So now we can say with the operating system. Okay. Another is called the database system. Now here you can see there are several users on a particular machine, because nowadays we are using various types of operating system as per our choice. Okay, and there are a number of users, or we can say the programmers can use the system at a time. Okay, because the operating system here has the characteristics of the multi-programming, multitasking, multi-processing. Okay, and so on. Now in case of the database system, here you can see after writing the program, okay, now we apply for the database. We use the database system where we will store this database system or access the database system. So there are several users, they can use the database as an input and output. Okay, they can retrieve and they can do various type of queries, and you will study in the database management system. So we use as a front end and back end, we have the database system. So now here you can see in this diagram, there are several users which they can work on the system on the we can say multi-user environment. So this is the case. So this diagram is called the static view of the system components, how the various components are connected. Now this is the dynamic view of the system components. Okay, static view you have already designed, and as per your design you are using. Okay, here this is the static view. Here you cannot change anything. You have already installed here operating system and application programs or compiler, assembler, and so far various users are using this, and this is the fixed one. Here you cannot change whatever you want to at your end. But in this case, this is the dynamic view of the system components. Okay, and they have now a sort of a networking type phenomena. Here you can see the methodology, how they are connected with the computer hardware, operating system, application software, and user. Okay, so far we are using the same criteria, but they are interconnected, and we can again you can here at the last level here computer hardware, this has the connectivity with the operating system. And here you can also see at computer hardware level, this is the processing results. Okay, here just we are going to process, because whenever you will use this operating system and this application software, so you will write the program, and after that you will input the data and get the data, retrieve the data as per the application software. And here you can see the output, and the output just you will start from the user side, and you are going to give or provide the input, and this has the various connectivity. And at the end you can see here again we have the connectivity with the hardware, with the user. So at the lower level, just we are coming from the user side, and again we are moving to the user side. So at the starting, you will write the program. Okay, you will provide the input, and after that, you will see here again the output. So you will access each and everything. Okay, application software, and you have the interface with the operating system. And again, at the end, you can retrieve or store your data in the computer hardware. Okay, so hardware means you will use here the hard drive, etc. Okay, secondary memory, and you can store the data. And before that, you are also going to process your results, service response. What is the service response here? And at the end, you will get the output. So this is the criteria. And why is it called the dynamic view of the system components? Because you are going to access all these layers as per your choice. Okay, so at any time you can uh, provide the input, you can write the program, and you can access the data from the computer hardware with wherever it has the final storage. So this is the dynamic view of the system components. And here in this case, computer hardware, we can say we have the CPU as well as the main memory. So the operating system here, the operating system is doing the every type of management here. CPU management, okay, file management, memory management, okay. So each and every management here, you IO management. Last one is the IO management, input output management. So this is the function of the main function of the operating system, how the operating system is managing each and everything. Now here you can see again layers of a computer system. So there are various layers. Again, we are telling about the various layers. So at the lower level here you can see computer hardware, another diagram related to the preceding one. Here computer hardware, and at on that we can see here the operating system. Okay, at the second layer, third layer, different utilities, that is the utility program, the device drivers, etc., which will provide the various interfacing. Okay, and above that application programs. After operating system, you will always use to install various type of the device drivers. Okay, so these comes under the category of the utility software or the utility program, which provides the various types of the interface. Okay, with the operating system. Now, how you are going to handle various type of management, well, either it is the IO management or the file management, CPU management or the memory management. So this is handled by the operating system. And now here you can see operating system designer. So operating system uh, designer will design the operating system here, will write the program for the this operating system. That is the program for system softwares. Okay, so at this level, the software engineer will start to work at operating system level. Now you can see here the utility program. These are also written by the programmers. Application program, these are also written by the programmer. Okay, so the main function of the programmer is to write various type of application program or the utility programs or the operating system, this system software. Okay, so various type of. Now at the end we have the end user. This is the main user. Okay, after testifying all such type of the programs, at the end, at the above we can see here, above all layers, this is the end user. Ultimately we are the users. Okay, you and me are the users, and among me and you, we are also the programmers and also the system designer, operating system designer. So this is the common user. Okay, these are the end users, are the these are the common users which can choose these application programs. Okay, so this has the application program has the direct interface with the various application programs. So we are here. Now there are different views of an operating system. Now we can see here there are three classical views. Okay, views. Now here we can see resource manager. What is the function of the resource manager? Who manages the various type of resources. Okay, manages and allocates resources. It provides the allocation, which resource is free, and it manages those the resources. So this is called the resource manager. So who is the resource manager? Operating system is the resource manager, because operating system here you can see have the interface or the connectivity with the hardware, utility program, application programs, and users. Okay, so the main command holder is this operating system. Okay, whatever you will write the program, or you will provide the input, or you will get the output, so everything will be done by the operating system. So this is called the resource manager. Another control program, this control the execution of user programs and operations of IO devices. So there is also the control program. So there are various many we can say the programs. Okay, and which are we can say inbuilt with those the operating system. These are not a different one, or not written separately, or not installed separately. but these are the inbuilt programs with the operating system. Whenever we write the operating system, then we also write various type of control programs which are also have the interface with the operating system. So these are called the inbuilt programs. So control programs here, what is the function of control program? Control the execution of user program. So whenever we will write the program, then the execution will be controlled by the another program that is called the control program. So these are the mini system softwares. Okay, those controls the execution of user program. So and operations of IO devices. Okay, so we always write some sort of, we use the functions of if we are considering the example of the C or C++, then we use the printf or scanf. So these comes the input output functions. So how we will get the connectivity with different type of IO devices, then this is the main function of the control program. Okay, even though we write the several lines of the program to provide to get the interface with those devices, but besides this, this is main control of the control program. Third one is the command executor. Whenever we will write any command, then how is it going to execute? So this is again the function of the operating system. So there are various functions which are written along with the operating system. When we write the operating system, we use all type of such type of programs. Okay, so command executor, whenever we will write any command, it will execute. Okay, we will click, suppose we are using the window based other softwares, then just because nowadays we are using the user friendly programs, we will click on the compile, or we will click on the run command, then it start to run or it start to execute. So here we can say these all commands are executed by the command executor. So provides an environment for running user commands. So whenever we will click, or whenever we will write, if it is the DOS based, then we will write the command. Then how is it going to execute? With the help of the command executor. Okay. But one more modern view, the operating system as a virtual machine. So then how will we use the operating system as a virtual machine? So this is the modern view. Okay, why we are saying here the virtual machine? Because we are the operating system managing the various resource managers, but one of the main management is called the memory management. Okay, so whenever we will use the concept of the memory, then there is the involvement of the virtual memory. Okay, so how we will use the, now everything is, the word is virtual is very common even nowadays, as the technology is growing up. So this is the main word which we are using, the virtual. Everything we are adding this new word, virtual, virtual, everywhere. Okay, so what is the concept of the virtual machine? Here it will depend on the type of the operating system and how we are going to use various devices, okay, from the remote places, or how we are going to manage the memory. Then we will use the concept of this virtual world. Now first we are going to elaborate the about the resource manager. Okay, now you can see here, resource manager manages and protects multiple computer resources. Why is it called the resource manager? Because it manages and protects multiple computer resources. What are the different resources? In the, these are very basic questions of the operating system. Anybody can ask about the why the operating system is called the resource manager. Why is it called the interfacing device operating system? Why is it called the platform? Okay, because it manages and protects multiple computer resources. What are the different resources? CPU. Okay, processes, internal or external memory, task, application, user, communication channel, etc. So it provides and manages. Okay, so these are the resources. You can see here central processing unit. This is the main resource. Whenever you will write the program, it will go to the main memory, and after for the processing from the main memory, it will go to the CPU. Okay. So whenever you will start any work, then first it will go to the main memory. From temporary memory, it will go to the central processing unit, and after that it will again do the to and fro motion like this. Okay, so after processing again it will come and return to the IO devices, output devices. Now you can see here internal and external memory. So we use the internal as well as the external memory. Internal memory, this is the here CPU memory as well as the main memory. Okay, so internal memory, external memory, you are already aware. It is a sort of the secondary memory we can use. That is called the external memory. Internal memory, that is the main memory, that is the random access memory RAM, as well as there are various registers which are connected with the central processing unit, or inside the CPU there are number of various registers, and we are also aware by their names of different type of registers we will use in the CPU. Okay, so far we have already studied regarding the various types of registers or the classification of registers in the microprocessor. Okay, so far you have studied about the 8085 kit as well as the 8086, as well as after that, so far we are using various central processing units. So the memory uh, we are using as a CPU register inside the CPU, then that is called the internal memory, and various type of registers memory is called the temporary memory, where the data will go for a time being, and after processing it will return back. Okay, so this is the concept of the internal and external memory. And about the main memory and the virtual memory, so we have already discussed about the main memory, that is the RAM, and currently we are using different types of uh, DDR. Okay, earlier that we were using the SD RAM. Okay, and nowadays we are using different versions of the DDR, double data rate memory. So this, comes under the category of the primary memory or the main memory. Okay, and now you can see other resources are the tasks, various application, whatever we are doing the activity on the system, and the activity of the users. Okay, this is also controlled by the operating system, and various type of communication channels we will use, and that will come under the category of the various communication channels, etc. Another is called the third second one is the handles and allocates resources to multiple users or multiple programs running at the same time and space. Okay, so another control, or we can say as a manager, it also handles and allocates resources to multiple users. So it allocates CPU if CPU is free. Okay, we are running several programs, and we will check whether the main memory is free or not. So our one of the program will go there. Okay, and after that it will check whether CPU is free or not, or how much percentage of the CPU is busy or the idle. So this is also the function of the operating system. It will check that what percentage of the busyness of the CPU. Okay, and after that it allocates the resources to the concerning, we can say either to the CPU or the main memory or the IO devices. If the output we are going to give the command, okay, for the printing, and if there are a number of items which are in the queue, then the first print will come as per the serial number, okay, for which we have already given the command for the printout. Then we can say it will form a sort of queue. Okay, so when it will get free, the output device will get free, then the mm, you can say the user number two printout command will proceed. Okay, so here these all the things will be managed by the resource manager or the operating system. Now you can see here there are, because multiple users, multi-user systems. Now we are using multiple programs are running at the same time and a space. So we will also calculate the processor time and we will check about the memory and also the IO devices. Okay. So this is also one of the function of the operating system to calculate the processor time, how the job or we can say the task is taking to process the particular job. Okay, so it will calculate the processor time and also it will check the memory space. What is the memory space which is occupied by the particular task or the job or the program, and it will also check which one is free IO devices. Okay, so this is called the resource manager. The last one is the decides between conflicting requests for efficient and fair resource use, maximize throughput, minimize response time. So the operating system here will also emphasize to check the maximize throughput. Okay, now you can also check yourself that how much the busyness of the CPU is going on. Okay, it will give you the percentage of the CPU, how much the CPU is busy. It will also minimize the response time. So whenever we will use the various type of commands, then we can see about to check the response time, how much the time is taken by a particular command. So that suppose just we are giving the command for the printout. Okay, just I am for example, just I am saying. Then after few, you can say the second, we will get the printout. So this is called the response time. Okay, after writing the particular command, then how it will activate, after how much time it will activate. So this is also one of the function of the operating system to minimize the response time. Okay, sometimes there are a number of resources which are so much busy, and sometimes you write the command or you click on the command, then you will not get the several types of response, and after you are going to check various types of other devices, why we are not getting. I give the command for the printout and I am not getting. So sometimes it happens due to the busyness of various resources. Okay, and sometimes for other reasons also. So sort of bottom view here we can say this is called the operating system as a resource manager. Again, we can see here this is the sort of bottom view here. Now this is the computer system. Okay, OS as a resource manager, computer system. Now you can see here memory. This is the memory. We will always talk about the main memory. Okay, I'm not talking about the secondary memory. So this is the main memory, that is the primary memory. Here no role of secondary memory or the external memory. Okay, so whenever we will type the computer system, we will talk about the main memory. Now you can see the position of the main memory at the upper level operating system software reside. Okay, whenever we will boot, start our computer as the operating system, first it will go to the main memory here. Okay, so it resides here. This is the area occupied by the operating system. At the lower here block, you can see programs and data. Okay, so this has the interface with the user. Here we cannot touch. So this is the main memory. Why we will check the RAM whenever we are going to purchase the system. Then we always check about the CPU. Okay, what is the CPU or type of the machine or processor we are purchasing, whether it is a AMD based or the Intel, it is manufactured by the Intel. Okay, first we will check the quality, and after that we will emphasize over the main memory. Okay, whether it is a 4 GB, 8 GB, earlier it was 1 GB or in somewhat 512 or 256 MBs, and now as the technology is upgrading, so each and everything now you can see here upgrading. Okay, now here the operating system will decide, and after that this area, if we have the main memory 4 GB, then we cannot use whole 4 GB memory, because the operating system will reside here. Okay, and this is the area remaining programs here. This has the interface with the user. Okay, so this is the area used by the user and other system softwares. Now you can see here, this is the area of the processor. After the main memory or the RAM, this is the area of the processor has the connectivity. If this is the multi-processor system, then various processors are inbuilt and connected. Now here you can see there are various type of I/O controller, input output devices controller. Here we can connect. Now this is various I/O devices. I/O controller provide the connectivity with the I/O devices. Okay. So now here we can use the printers, keyboards, digital cameras, etc. And it will depend on the choice of the user. We can use. This is the storage area here. Now this is the final storage. You can see this is the storage area, and this also we can come under the category of the IO devices here. Now after that, here this is the upper part. Here the operating system will decide. This is the programs and data which is used by the user. At the end, we have the storage, and everything will depend on the memory here. And this has the connectivity with the help of the IO controller. Now you can check here. Okay. Now this is the again resource manager oriented OS names, operating system names. So these are various, you can say the operating system names. So we have so far used a number of operating systems earlier. Here DEC, DEC, RSX, resource sharing executive, MIT multiplex information and computing services, IBM, MFT, MBT. So there are various, these are the resource manager oriented OS names. Okay, so far in this case, we have already used various resource managers along with these OS also. At the end, you can see here IBM VM virtual machines. Okay, now we are using this category IBM VM, यानी कि you are already aware here international business machine. This is one of the big or company here. So VM they are also manufacturing various types of machines, and now these currently machines are based on the virtual machines. And what is the concept behind this? I will tell you later on. Now at the number 2 here, you can see the control program. So number 1 you have already used as the resource manager here. Okay, this is the number 1, and now this is the number 2 control program. And here again I will elaborate about the control program. And before that, just I am taking your attendance here. That is also one of the very important part of this. So here you can see this is the control program, and what is the function of this? So manages all the components of a complex computer system in an integrated manner. So there are various components, okay, which is controlled by the control program. Control the execution of user programs whenever we will write various types of program. So all the things controlled by this system software, we can say the control program. It is nothing but the system software that controls all type of activities which will be done by the user. So far we will write the programs, and after that we have the connectivity with the IO devices to prevent errors and improper use of the computer resources. Sometimes we do not use the various type of resources accurately, then this control program will provide you the accurate way or the proper way to use various type of resources or to allocate those resources. Okay, looks over and protects the computer from where? From the monitor, supervisor, executive, controller, master, coordinator. So this is also one of the function of the control program. It provides the interface with the monitor. Okay, it also acts as a supervisor. It also used as an executive one, controller, master, or the coordinator. So there are various functions of the operating system, but under the operating systems there are various programs which are controlling mm, various activities. Okay, so such type of activities or the task we can say controlled or maintained by the control program here. So these are the, we can say, various roles of the control program. Sort of a black box view. Now you can see here, this is a like this. Here we will get the this is the out, and A and B here. We can say we are using the various here control programs. Okay, and here we will get the this sort of output. So we can say that it is a sort of the black box like this. So control program providing you a several types of here functionality and interface with the system. So there is a big role of the control program here. Now control program oriented OS names, now in which we are using the control program. So we can see here Unisys MCP master control program. There are various names under the control program. So there are various operating systems which are using such type of control based program. These are the names of the control program: Unisys MCP master control program. This is called the DRCP YM control program slash microcomputer, IBM, VM slash CP. These are not the names of the here operating system. Okay, but these are the names used for the control program we are using in the operating system, because these are the inbuilt program or assembled with the operating system. Okay, whenever we will write the system software for the operating system, then we will also write such type of a small program. So there are various programs which are written for the control program. So we will use one of out of here you can see such type of control programs with the machine operating system. Now IBM VMCP. So IBM wrote this and the name is the VM control program. So we can use any one of these. Okay, and it will vary machine to machine. Okay, so in which machine we are using the control program and what is the name of that. So this is again written by the IBM. Here you can see ALX Advanced Interactive Executive. So again, this is the name for the control program. This is not the name of the operating system, but this is the, these are the names for the control program in various machines. DAC RSX, resource sharing executive. Okay, this is the name of the control program, and we will use any one of these such type of control programs with the operating system. So there are various names. Similarly, here you already seen this is the name of the various resource manager. So these are not the operating system, but these are the part of the operating system. We can say the small system softwares which we uh, which are the inbuilt with the operating system. Suppose we are using the Windows operating system, then we will we have the this DAC or VMS, the resource manager programs, and this is inbuilt with the OS. Okay, virtual memory system. Similarly, multiple virtual storage, multiple fixed or variable task. So how we are going to maintain those? So we have the such type of inbuilt program with the OS. Okay, so these are called the various resource managers, which are inbuilt with the OS names. Now here at the end, third one is the command executor, and we will discuss in the next lecture. Okay, because the time is going to finish here of the Zoom. So any query, please, related to this topic or the operating system so far. And at the end of this unit, I will upload the notes in the PDF form on the Google Classroom, as well as also I will try my best to my profile at on amu.ac.in. Okay. If any query, please
Yes, sir.
welcome. I have already taken your attendance, print out of your attendance. So any other query, you are always welcome, and you can also write on my WhatsApp group, or you can also call. So there is no any
सर
problem.
नेक्स्ट क्लास उमर से लैब लेंगे ना सर आज?
लैब अगर उमर साहब से आप पूछ लो थोड़ा सा ग्रुप पे डाल के, और वरना तो तुम्हें नेक्स्ट प्रोग्राम तो फिर नेक्स्ट उस पर जमा करना ही करना है, समझ रहे हैं?
यस।